Thank you. I think the gentleman really summarized it quite succinctly, that until we reverse so that the inflows exceed the outflows,
Yep.
we would always be out there with a bowl in hand begging. And to do that, I think we really need to reassess the whole financial architecture, which was based on a colonial system and a colonial mindset. I think for me, a classic example is the concept of concessions, just to give you one example. You know, concession made sense where the exploration risk was so high that you couldn't afford to do it yourself. So you bring somebody, you give him a 25-year concession. He then takes the risk, goes to raise the money, comes in, does the exploration, discovers whether it's gold, oil, or whatever, and then mines it and takes out the proceeds for the next 25 years. Now, we all know where the gold is. It's totally de-risked. There's no exploration risk anymore. So I have the asset. I know it's my asset. It's in my ground. I can easily value it. All I have to do is extract it. The technology to extract it is now commonplace. I'm sure I can even go on Amazon and buy myself a mine or whatever it is and hire the resources. So what exactly do I need to give somebody else a concession for? I can raise the capital myself. I can, hire the talent. I can get the equipment. I know the resources there. So, we've moved into an era where those risks are no longer relevant and pertinent, but we are still using the financial architecture and agreements of the past. So that creates an uneven situation where we still end up being agents and not getting enough of the pie and a bigger equity stake. And we're just there, collecting royalties and rents whilst, somebody else is taking back the returns. You also see it in the cost of financing. I mean, when we go out to raise money, we are still paying what you call an Africa risk premium, 2, 3, 4, 5 percentage points. You look at Argentina and ourselves. Argentina, same B-rated country, has defaulted on its bonds before, but yet they managed to issue a 100-year bond and price it 2, 3 basis points cheaper than we do. You look at, the COVID pandemic, and you see African countries and the response and how better we've managed this COVID pandemic. Whereas you look in the West and countries have been ravaged, they've been so confused. But yeah, we're not giving any credit for our better management. We don't see it reflecting in our financing costs. We're still now having to buy these vaccines at astronomical prices because people are looking at it as a profit margin. So we don't have a seat at the table to be able to access funding at much cheaper rates. And so we are sort of almost in a vicious cycle where, you make a return and it goes to service your debt because you're borrowing at 10% while somebody's borrowing at less than 1%. And until we reconfigure this whole global financial architecture, we will always be at a disadvantage. And that's what we need to do.
Fantastic. And that's why we are here, to change that, right? And hopefully with